A brand new report from Bleacher Report has revealed the Minnesota Vikings plan at running back, and especially with Aaron Jones and what the future holds with him in Minnesota. We're going to be talking about this and breaking down why keeping Aaron Jones is the best decision the Vikings can make at this very time here in this video. Before we get into it, though, we know some 91% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. We're on the road to 1K, and your support has been absolutely incredible lately. Me and Griffin both very much appreciate it, and once again, we have no sign of stopping soon. The Minnesota Vikings have so much news that we have to cover, and you won't want to miss a beat. Be sure to stick around. We'll give you every bit of news that we get from the Minnesota Vikings. But without any further ado, let's get into this report. Aaron Jones turned 30 in December and probably won't be considered a long-term option for rebuilding franchises. Yet, he's a top running back headed into the market due to proven production and a dual threat ability. The UTEP product was fantastic in his first season with the Vikings, starting all 17 games and finishing with 1,138 rushing yards, 408 receiving yards, and 7 combined touchdowns. The former Packers star is a true every down back and should be a top target for teams with realistic playoff aspirations, the Minnesota Vikings. However, assuming the Vikings allow Jones to get away, the prediction is that they don't. If Minnesota is prepared to hand the keys to McCarthy, it will want to surround him with a strong rushing attack. Its chances of finding a new starter in the draft are slim. Now, me and Griffin both have discussed this here in several videos, discussing what the plans for Aaron Jones, first of all, what the plan could be for the running backs, that is via draft, via trade, via free agency, and what is the plan going forward with the entire offense. So, obviously, we know that JJ McCarthy is looking like the plan heading forward, and that seems to be, as I mentioned in yesterday's video as well, the plan that the Vikings are very, very happy and very much looking forward to following with. And we know that in college, JJ McCarthy was a very run-heavy offense in Michigan, playing with, Blake Corum, specifically in that running back system, and both had very big success with that, and very much enjoyed playing with each other and pairing up with each other. And we see, JJ McCarthy come into his first NFL season, get hurt, have to sit out. Now coming up in this next year with Aaron Jones coming into his first year at Minnesota, proving that he is a very solid run option still. A lot of people counting him out due to the injuries that he had occurred, but still, full 17-game season, second time in his career that he has played a full season, and it's a very good sign for Minnesota. Now, when you're looking at his rushing yards and overall touchdowns, it's really not what everybody had hoped, but it's a lot better than what some people had thought. So, kind of when you put those two together, it was not overall a bad season. And when you're looking at the offense the Vikings have as well, very, very hard to kind of project that he will be getting the load of touchdowns. He'll be getting that ball down, even within the 10. I still see that ball going to Jefferson every time. And knowing how the plan of running on this team is, they love their running backs. And finally having a good one in Aaron Jones, I feel like they would not want to get rid of him after one season, after finally finding some success, after really lacking on all of that since really Dalvin Cook. And even though Dalvin Cook had those injuries as well, and really didn't play a whole lot near the end of his Vikings tenure, still had a very, very solid group of players there. And we kind of go and look at this as well. This feels like a slam dunk signing for Kevin O'Connell, whose offense was unlocked in 2024 thanks to the threat of Jones in the backfield. Minnesota ranked 19th in the NFL in rushing offense, up from 29th in 2023, and it could be continue to moving the needle in 2025 by pairing Jones and with the more mobile McCarthy under center. And having McCarthy as well, I won't say having more experience at the, using his running backs, but certainly has been, very, very used to that in college, and especially in Michigan, how run-heavy that system was with Jim Harbaugh. You know that he's ready for really any scenario you give him to, whether that is throwing the ball deep, whether that's short pass, whether that's screen pass, whether that's giving the ball off to the running back, whether that's, throwing it on a flat. There's many, many different opportunities that I think we're ready to see JJ McCarthy in, and one big thing that I will get into here in a few screenshots is one thing that we see a lot now in the NFL is having a tandem in the backfield. And we know Aaron Jones certainly had that with A.J. Dillon, A.J. Dillon in the Packers. And the whole system that they had that worked out was very, very consistent. And one that we have to assume that he'll want to keep. And one that the team would really, really like to kind of work with. We see that with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, how much that's working. We see it now with many other teams potentially trying to do that. And as we head into the draft, there are many opportunities. And as you've seen that first screenshot say, you don't really know what's going to happen on that front, especially with how deep the running back class is. You probably won't get an elite one because Ashton Jeanty is going to be 12th overall, because soon the Vikings are going to trade up. The Vikings don't have too many picks, but have enough to be able to make something happen. So when we're looking at it, there's a whole bunch of scenarios that the Vikings can kind of work themselves into and hopefully find out the right path. And I will get into that in a moment, but I have another one here. Jones has expressed the desire to finish his career in Minnesota, which is a major thing that, we kind of have to play with our hand. We can't really afford to let him walk away, have to go and try and find another running back elsewhere with what is out there. And unless the Vikings see a significant upgrade, one big enough to pay for in Najee Harris, Javonte Williams, and Nick Chubb, most logical, the path forward is to lock up Jones with a multi-year deal. And let's be honest, when we're looking at Najee Harris, Javonte Williams, Nick Chubb, realistically, the three top free agents, for overall in the free agency class of running backs other than Aaron Jones, I see none of these guys even being able to replace, Najee Harris, definitely a bit younger, Javonte Williams, good, but I don't see him being able to capitalize in this Minnesota Vikings system. Nick Chubb, a lot of scares with that broken foot at the end of the season, coming off the ACL. Everything there really just signs me up for nothing. And when we're looking at the way that Aaron Jones has been in the system already, prepared for this system, and now potentially giving him help in the draft, he is the best option. Locking him up multi-year, and if you want to end his career here, that sounds very, very good to me at least, and especially with the liberty of having another running back behind him is a very big thing that I want to see for the future of the Minnesota Vikings. And with the depth here, as you can see here, Ty Chandler, still here. We have him for, I don't know the exact amount, a few more years. He's not a free agent now, but Aaron Jones and Cam Akers, both currently free agents and both uncertain of their future. Now, obviously, Aaron Jones has spoken out that he'd like to be here. This is Cam Akers' second time around, and likely, I won't want to say the last because we saw that second time already, but with another draft pick coming up late, maybe Cam Scadaboo, maybe someone like that we've been discussing, that would be a very good 1-2 punch with Aaron Jones. I think there's a lot of options that the Vikings have, and a lot that they're going to really want to capitalize on. But as I kind of mentioned here a minute ago, even with only 4 projected selections in the 2025 NFL Draft, there could be an option in the April to double down. The Vikings own 2 fifth-round picks on what is expected to be a deep running back class. Pairing Jones with a true backfield main like he had during his time in Green Bay will make a lot of sense. And I think that's what the Vikings' plan is. Now, I don't want to, I can predict and I can hope, but I don't want to say for sure that this is what they're going with because, you don't want to risk a pick even it may be in the 5th, on someone that you are uncertain with a position that you can fill. The Vikings need to go out and fill these positions first before they can take a gamble on an extra piece that is kind of going to be a backup, maybe a future asset. They need to lock up everything now. And like I mentioned in the last video as well, that internal offensive line is a big piece. The secondary, depending on what happens in the free agency on that side of things, is another big piece. And a lot of, just holes around the roster need to be fixed before they go out and try and get a secondary running back in the draft. So hopefully, as I mentioned, and as this article mentions here, this is a deep draft. They can get someone who can work out well with Aaron Jones, sit behind Aaron Jones and watch him and learn and get that experience behind him as well. And having that with JJ McCarthy also is going to be a very good idea to kind of pair with them at the beginnings of their careers. So there's a lot of options the Minnesota Vikings have, but I do love the idea, and I'm sure you guys know, as what we've mentioned in the video with Griffin, and the possibility of a running back 10 like Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, although how hard that may be to actually replicate, it certainly is something that a lot of teams are going to start trying with in the NFL. So let me know what you think about this news. Are you happy that Aaron Jones should be returning, or the Vikings should be returning him? And do you want to see him back, of course, is the big question here. And if not, what do you want to see? Let us know in the comments below. But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy it, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. But we're signing out. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.